Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for, this is your September bonus reading. We're going to take a look and see, we're just going to look into the main themes for the month of September. So I feel pretty good about this for you already, but we're going to take a look at the Mercury Retrograde, and that will be on September 9th in your first row. In your second row, we're going to look at the full moon in Pisces, and that will be on September 10th right here. And this, by the way, this full moon has been pretty good for everyone, which is kind of surprising, but we'll talk about that in a minute. In your next row, we're going to just look at Libra season in general. On the 22nd, the sun moves into Libra, but we also have Venus in Libra on the 29th. We have a new moon in Libra on the 25th. It's also the same day as the fall equinox as well, so there's a ton of energy on this day, and on the 22nd. We're also going to look at that new moon in Libra on the 25th, right here in this last row for you here, Aries. So let's see. This looks pretty good for you, I would say. You do start off in this first row for the Mercury Retrograde in Libra on the 9th. You have this card that says adjustments are required. To me, that is just typical retrograde energy, right? Sometimes things happen and we just have to adjust. I never worry about this. I always say that I love making mistakes during Mercury retrograde. I purposely start things during Mercury retrograde, and guess what? And gasp, right? I know that every astrologer and their mother tells you that you shouldn't start things during Mercury retrograde. But I have found that, guess what? Mistakes are not a bad thing. I'm basically a living mistake, right? So what I'd say here is that, basically, I don't think it's a bad thing to make a mistake. And I think these mistakes that we can make during Mercury retrogrades are a good thing because usually we learn from them faster. I always like to remind people that if something is meant to be in your life, it's meant to be in your life. So it's like, it doesn't matter if you start that business during Mercury retrograde and you make a mistake. If you're meant to be doing it, it doesn't matter that it's retrograde. You will keep doing it. So and it's not going to go anywhere, right? But it's like, why not make the mistakes now and learn from those mistakes faster, be able to make the adjustments, and then after the retrograde, things go better. At least that's been my experience. Call me crazy, but that's kind of what I've always experienced. So don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to make adjustments either at this time. You have the moon, the tower, and the Six of Swords. This does look a little bit scary, but again, the whole point of the tower is that these people have been ignoring reality. They are kind of falling out of the tower and falling back down to earth because they are being grounded in reality. As I always say, the tower is necessary. It's part of the fool's journey as well. And they're coming down. But here's the thing. Like, one of these people on the tower card is like, he's diving head first out of that window. The one in the red. He has made the decision to take the leap. I'm noticing a lot of red here. You have this opportunity card, and it's red. You have the Emperor. You also have the third person, or the middle person, I should say, on the Three of Cups. You have the Eight of Cups, red. Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. And you have the Eight of Pentacles, red pants, and the Six of Wands, red. So what I would say is, I feel like all the red is you, Aries, in this reading. And I feel like you've made a decision to take a leap of faith away from something that maybe you thought was going to be in your life for a very long period of time. I feel like I always say this to you. You have the moon, you're not really sure where you're going yet. But, funny enough, Pisces, by the way, and the moon represents a period after a full moon as well, which is like a great period of innovation. So I like this for you, Aries. You have the Six of Swords, which is like moving on to calmer shores. I do feel like you're moving on towards improvements here in your life, and you're moving on to something that's going to be much better for you. So I definitely like this. Pretty straightforward first row is what I would say to you. Just make adjustments. Don't, if something doesn't work, don't quit. Try something else. With the moon, you have the Queen of Pentacles, very focused on your resources, and I feel you're becoming more resourceful. I feel like you could be making adjustments in your resources that actually increase the amount of money that you have, so I feel that's a good idea with this energy. I feel like something needs adjustment as well, but this is not a bad thing. I feel for some of you, especially if you have a business, I feel like there are some things that you can adjust that are going to make you more money, so I would look into that. With the Tower, you have the Justice card. Look at all this red in your reading. Red, right here. Justice is a card of balance and balancing things out. Also, Libra. So you have a lot of Libra energy. Of course, there is a lot of Libra energy going on this month, but I feel that there is some justice coming in for you here. For some of you, I do get like cutting your losses or something like that popping in my head. So if you're involved in like a legal situation, some of you could be ending it just to end it. Others of you, the other person could just be ending it to end it. Take it how it resonates, but I do feel that. With the Six of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. Here's the ending right here. And also red right here. So Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with. I feel like you've really taken control here, Aries, is what this reading is talking about. Like in the beginning of the month, you're taking control of something. It's almost like you've kind of dropped the hammer, right? That's what I feel like this is. Maybe you've made a decision to cut a person off. Maybe you've made a decision to just up and quit a job. But a very abrupt decision is what I'm sensing here in this first position. It's going to lead to good things, though. In the area of the full moon in Pisces, you have this opportunity card. And this is like the woodpecker spirit in this deck here. This is the animal apothecary deck. And it is a new deck, by the way. But it's a really good card. I feel that there's opportunity knocking in your life. And I feel that could be why there's this abrupt ending happening in your life, because you see something that's much sweeter, something much better for you. And that's what it looks like you're moving towards. You have the Eight of Wands, the Emperor, and the Four of Cups. I feel you're letting go of past disappointments, honestly. The Four of Cups isn't really a card of disappointments, but it kind of is, because he's like trying to manifest those cups in front of him, but he's not accepting any of these cups in his life. And it's because it's not exactly what he wants. He's trying to manifest something, but he's not getting exactly what he wants. But I almost feel like you're letting go of this energy for whatever reason. And again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I feel you're just wanting to take more control of your life. Some of you could be focusing more on work this month and focusing on the small details. You have two eights, the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. And you have three eights. And you have the Eight of Cups. 888 is a very good number. Sorry, my camera might have just turned off there. But 888 is a very good number of abundance. And it looks to me like you're very focused on the small details. Eights to me kind of represent the tiny little things. Even in the Lenormand card reading system, there's the Eight of Diamonds is called the key, and it kind of represents the tiny little keys, the tiny little things that open doors in our lives. And I feel that energy for you here on the Emperor, that you are kind of making these little adjustments, like I said, that could have a big impact on your life. You have the Eight of Wands as well. I feel like you're willing to make the adjustments and willing to make the changes. I almost get this sense of noticing that things are speeding up. It's like you're noticing that things are changing in whatever it is you do for work, is what it looks like to me. And I feel like you're just willing to continuously make the changes, right? It's like I always talk to people about YouTube, because that's all I do. But, there are people on YouTube who they've, been on YouTube forever. Some of them have just completely disappeared. Other people are still going, right? But it's like the people that have disappeared didn't keep up with the changes, because YouTube is always changing. And I feel that this Eight of Wands is saying you're keeping up with the changes, or you're making some changes here with this Eight of Wands energy. And these are things that are happening very quickly, but it's at the same time, I feel like you're able to keep up with these changes. And because of it, you're like continuously evolving and you're growing much more than maybe you have for a while. So let's look into this here. Definitely a big opportunity coming in for you. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Hanged Man. Some of you could have a Pisces coming into your life. I feel like Pisces is always in your orbit. I don't know. Every time I'm attracted to someone, it's always an Aries. Every Pisces I know and have ever met in my life is always attracted to Aries. So I don't know. You probably could have like a creepy little Pisces, floating around you or whatever is going on here. I have no clue, but also, this is happening on the full moon in Pisces, so it makes perfect sense. I feel like there could be an opportunity. It's going to be a quick moving opportunity with that Eight of Wands, meaning that you're probably not going to have much time to think about it with that Eight of Wands. And, I would just accept it. With the Emperor, you have the Eight of Cups. You're definitely cutting something. You've made the decision, like I said, to take control and cut something out of your life. We see it. Sorry, wrong camera. We see it everywhere here. This first row, if we can take the two diagonals and kind of go in like this, and also this middle row, and it all kind of goes to that Emperor. I feel like you made the decision for your own happiness. With the Four of Cups, you have the Nine of Cups. There you go. Your own happiness. Nine of Cups is wishes, wish fulfillment in general. But I would definitely make a wish with that card. Next, with all the Libra energy on the 22nd, just the whole month in general, you have this Happy card. I love this card. Definitely one of the best cards in this deck. She is channeling happiness through like the top of her head there. So I feel there's a lot of reasons to be happy, and you're receiving a lot of happiness. For a lot of you, I do feel you are receiving a lot of happiness from work, the work that you do. For a lot of you, probably because you're just doing a good job. Eight of Pentacles, Three of Cups, celebrating your work, basically, when we put those cards together. So you could be receiving a lot of fulfillment from work. If you're not receiving fulfillment from work, again, Eight of Pentacles can represent the small details. And it can say there might be some details or some things that you could change that would make your work more enjoyable, that would make things more like just better for you in general. And don't be afraid to make those changes with that Nine of Wands. It's like I always tell people, not to toot my own horn here, but it's like I've never been into doing love readings. It just doesn't interest me to do drama love readings, right? And I'm not criticizing anyone who does. Go for it. I feel like they have their place, right? But I just don't care. And, care about it. Just that simple, right? And, it's like I've never really, if it shows up in a reading, I talk about it. If it doesn't, I don't, right? And it's like pretty much no one doesn't do love readings except for me, right? And I've been able to be perfectly successful doing that, doing my own thing, right? And I kind of feel that for you here, where it's like maybe everybody is doing something in your life, but you kind of like what your true happiness is somewhere else. I wouldn't be happy doing love readings. I don't care, right? This is not Kim Kardashian tarot. As I say, I would be miserable if I had to do this. But talking about success and making your life better, that's what I want to talk about, right? So I feel like there's something that you want to do. Enough about me, right? And I feel you need to do it. You have the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, and the Three of Cups. Again, a little bit of resistance, a little bit of maybe you've tried it in the past to do things your way. But I also feel like you're really starting to believe in yourself a little bit more and have been probably for the past 2 or so years, maybe a little bit longer, 3 years for some of you. But I feel like you're slowly but surely believing in yourself more. And this is just going to lead to a lot of success for you here, Aries, which we see right here. I feel like there are things that you can pretty much work on all day long, and that's the area of your life where you're going to find the most success. So this could be like a hobby, could be a business, could be whatever you're interested in, but I do see a lot of financial growth and success for you with the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is like a celebration. So I do feel there is a major celebration coming in for you. For a lot of you, I feel there could be a family reunion or there could be family visiting during this time, this whole entire month. And I feel it'll be a very happy time for you. It could actually increase your abundance as well. You see all this, like the pumpkins here growing around these people. I feel that if you have people like visiting or if you have if you're spending time with family or whatever, I feel that could be something that is increasing your abundance. It's like I've noticed in my own life, some people, they steal abundance from me and I cut those people out. Other people, it's like when I'm around them, my abundance seems to increase. They make my life more positive. And I feel that for some of you where it's like there could be either a person that, it kind of feels like family to me for whatever reason. So if you have if you're visiting family or spending time with family, I feel it feels extremely positive to me for you, Aries. I feel you could be it could be increasing your abundance just because you're happier. It's like when we're happier, we attract more happiness. And you have that happy card at the top. That is like literally saying that you are channeling happiness. And the more happiness you create, the more happy reasons to be happy you get. And that's what this looks like to me. So definitely like this. Let's see. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Page of Wands. Very, again, desire. Very much work. He does something because he desires to do it, because he wants to. And I feel that energy for you here with the Page of Wands, that because you're super interested in whatever you're working on, it's going to go well for you, especially for those of you in work or business. Even if you're retired, as I always say, you could be working on like a project, like a personal project or a home-based project or something. All those things would be good for you. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card of traditions and learning. See, the Hierophant is like inside the box thinking. Nine of Wands is more outside the box thinking. And also, again, we have that full moon. The thing with the full moon is that after a full moon, it represents like a period of innovation, a period where we should be trying new things. Even though we have a Mercury retrograde, as I said, I would be making those mistakes because who cares? And I feel you could be finding a lot of success in experimentation. With the Three of Cups, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Again, basically the universe saying I meant what I said. And I literally said to you that I feel family could be increasing your abundance or spending time with people who matter to you. It could be friends, could be lovers, whatever, doesn't matter. Next in your last row for this new moon in Libra on the 25th, you have this deer spirit. Kind of like a gentle energy is how this card is described. This card also reminds me of the Empress as well. So I feel like you're kind of entering into a period of growth. And I do feel it's not going to happen overnight. It might not even kind of happen this month, but I feel like you're entering into this period of great growth and expansion. I feel this is true for pretty much everyone, but I feel it's more true for you, probably you the most, because again, you have Jupiter entering into your first at the, well, it's, retrograding out of your sign, but, it'll be entering back into your sign at the end of the year and then all next year, except for when it retrogrades again. But, for the most part, it's going to be in your sign. I mean, it's going to leave your sign at the end of next year, towards the end of next year, and then retrograde back into your sign as it always does. But, I feel there's a lot of abundance and growth coming in for you. You have the Eight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands here. Again, the Eight of Cups is about walking towards fulfillment. I always say that this card can represent needing to make sure you don't get trapped in an emotional whirlpool. But for you, I feel you know exactly where you're going, because it just looks like to me that you are taking great control over your own life and making your own decisions, and also probably focusing on your own happiness as well, which I do feel is going to be very helpful. You have the Queen of Pentacles, very resourceful at this time. I do feel there is a big focus on your resources. I don't think this is a bad thing. I feel like some of you could be shifting some things around. Like maybe there's some things you're spending money on that you don't need to spend money on. Maybe there are other things that you want to spend money on that you haven't spent money on yet. And I kind of feel like you're doing that here with this energy. I heard someone talking about something today. I think it was like a BHG or something like that, big hairy goal, meaning in a big hairy goal is like where you kind of like set a goal for something that's like a little bit scary. And it could be to like purchase something, for example, that's like a little bit out of reach, a little bit scary, but it's going to force you to be better. And I kind of feel that for some of you here with this Queen of Pentacles, where some of you could be setting a goal that's a little bit of a reach, not too crazy, right? We're not going nuts here, but I feel like it could be just the thing that makes you a little bit more successful. I always tell people, again, that like a few years ago, I bought a camera for this channel, and like pretty much every cent that I make from this channel just goes right back into this channel, because I want to have the best videos, right? I'm obsessed with that. And I bought a camera that I like couldn't really afford at the time, but it was like a little bit of a stretch, and but I kind of could afford it, but I kind of couldn't, right? And it was kind of like a big hairy goal or whatever it's called. I bought it, I couldn't really afford it, kind of could. And then my channel grew very, very quickly. And I think there's something to that, like doing something where you have no other option than to be successful. I kind of put myself in that position, right? Then again, I'm not suggesting you do something that's going to put you out on the streets or something like that. But what I am suggesting is sometimes I think we just need to stretch just a little bit. And maybe this doesn't even cost money with the Queen of Pentacles, but I kind of feel like you need to stretch just a little bit here. You have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands, a card of success and excellence. I do feel like there's a lot of success coming in for you with this Six of Wands. You also have the Star wanting to pop out there. Every single person, I'm pretty sure almost everyone has had the Star. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Two of Wands taking the lead. Again, you're taking the lead in your own life. I do feel some of you, it's kind of funny, I feel like you're kind of going down this path, and maybe you're like looking over your shoulder, kind of looking back, being like, who's following me? Who's following me? Not as in people are following you, but I feel you just want the comfort. Sometimes I think we go off on our own path, we do our own thing, and people just can't come along with us, right? We have to go find a new group of people, a new tribe or something like that. And that's kind of what this reading looks like to me, is that some of you could almost be looking for your new, group of people, whatever you want to call it. So some of you could be doing that here. And again, I feel like family and stuff will always be there, but I'm talking about friends. But I see that on the Two of Wands for some reason. And some of you could be leaving behind relationships and things with that Two of Wands. But I see a lot of growth there. With the Queen of Pentacles, are you kidding me? How many times do you have the Tower? Oh, you have it twice. So you have the Tower. For some reason, I was like, did I mess up and like use another deck that has a double card in it? But I guess not. So Tower, again, with that Queen of Pentacles. I would definitely be careful of your finances, but I'm not too worried about this because, again, I feel like some of you are choosing to have a Tower moment just in general. I feel like you could be choosing to cut a person out of your life, like a lover is what it looks like to me with this reading. So if you don't have a lover, you could be choosing to like quit a job and start your business or something. With the Six of Wands, you have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. Seven of Wands to me says when you know that you're going to be successful, you will be successful. So it's kind of like a card of having those deep beliefs of success. And I would definitely have those. But a pretty interesting reading. I feel that you're really just taking control of your life at this time. There could be some big opportunities coming in for you. I feel like one big opportunity coming in for you, and I would grab onto it, especially if it's in business. But let's see here, Aries, what's going on for you. You have, we're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Feel free to pause this reading if you need time to think of your questions. 1, 2, and 3. For question number 1, I would say no. Five of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold. For question number 2, yes, definitely the Sun. The Sun is the best card in the deck. A lot of happiness and joy on the Sun, so definitely yes. And for question number 3, you have the Strength card. I would say yes, for sure. So this is a pretty good reading, Aries. I feel there's a lot of good stuff coming in for you. Definitely. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.